All right, so before the break, we teased trade talk, retool talk, rebuild talk, all this kind of stuff. Um, Look, I think Blake, my assessment of this is that if anything does happen, I don't think it happens imminently. I think it probably will be in January at the earliest. I think as of right now, the Raptors have to continue battling through this with the team that they got. Maybe they get some guys back healthy. We'll see how long it takes for guys like, Precious and Otto when they return, probably in the new year, how long it takes them to sort of settle back into the team and get into the roles and then all that kind of stuff. But eventually, especially if the team goes to where they're going right now, we're going to have a very strong conversation about whether they should be retooling or whether they should be rebuilding. Um, and Blake, for me, the distinction there is rebuilding would be you're taking your core pieces, and you're looking at guys like, OG or Pascal. You might have to move on to those guys, right? And that's like a rebuild to me. A retool is more like you're looking at some of your expiring free agents. If you're talking about Fred, if you're talking about Gary, if you're talking about some of the other bench pieces, and you move those guys in addition to some picks for more help around Pascal, around OG, around Scotty. By the way, I don't think in any of these scenarios Scotty moves. It's just, look, if they weren't moving him for KD in the offseason, he's not getting moved. Okay, so yeah.
Man, do those discussions look a little different right now?
Oh,
With
come
KD
on.
like on the MVP ballots and Scotty having a bit of a sophomore step back.
Are you saying they should have done it? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I had to tiptoe around it all offseason when people were asking. I was like, of course you trade the rookie of the year for Kevin Durant. It's it's Kevin Durant, but who knows how those conversations went or what was actually on the table. The harder part was honestly that
Well, we know
to make
Scotty
this
wasn't on the table.
no, and even if he was, the hardest part of that would have been, okay, how do you make up the other 30
Exactly.
million
Exactly.
in salary
At
matching?
that time, I think it would have been at least like two of Gary, Fred, and OG.
Yes.
And then who
Which
knows,
is
extra picks or whatever. But you'd assume if you're giving him the rookie of the year, you're not giving him like 4 or 5 extra picks after that.
no.
Yeah.
No, but they didn't do it. So here we are.
Buddy, if I was Bobby Webster, I wouldn't sleep at night, man. There's no way. There's no way. I'm already watching Brooklyn beat me 4 times already. And you're like, damn. At minimum, those would have been 4 wins there.
Yeah. And you'd also have Kevin Durant, who's averaging 30 points a game, like without blinking.
You think
But
we still
whatever.
have our daily 5-minute droughts? I think actually last night there might have been 2 5-minute droughts. You think there'll still be those night to night 5-minute droughts with KD?
I don't think so because you could stagger KD and Siakam effectively, but also like a trade like that would have absolutely thinned you out a lot. So maybe the
Yeah.
bench situation is even worse.
Right.
Although
of
who knows?
course.
Maybe you get a bunch of those like 1 year minimum vets who are just ring chasing, who aren't actually good, but can, keep, kind of the same impact that Cam and Thad have had, where it's just like, okay, this isn't like great, but it's not a disaster. Maybe
Yeah.
you'd have more of those guys. To your actual question about rebuild, retool, I'm more in the retool camp. I think at this point, it's not hard to see things turning around for this team and they become a better version of themselves and are semi-dangerous come playoff time. But I think the gap between this team and Milwaukee or Boston is
Oh,
wide enough that you have to
come on.
take a look at, when should you be pushing in and what does that look like? And what that requires is probably dealing the stuff that is not a part of your long-term future for something that could be a part of your long-term future. Now, I think the Gary Trent part of that is fairly obvious. I think with guys like Kem Birch, Thad Young, Otto Porter, you like having those vets around, but if you're going into the retool path, those are vets on expiring deals. If you can get much back at all, like if you can do the thing you did last year to get Thad, where you move up 15 spots in the draft, I think you explore that. And sorry, I'm referring to Thad as an expiring, even though he's not, because he has almost nothing guaranteed on the second year of his deal. So he's
Right.
effectively
Right.
an expiring if a team wants him to be. Here's the reality too, is that no, the Raptors are not going to be able to out tank Detroit and Charlotte and Houston and those teams. They are, however, closer to those teams right now than they are to avoiding the play in the Eastern Conference. Like they're 4.5 back of the Knicks, who are in 6th right now, and they are 5 up on Charlotte, who have the second best lottery odds right now. We can do the whole lottery odds thing again, but we're talking about the if you can't get to the very bottom, we're talking about small changes in percentages. The team is not going to shut down Pascal Siakam ahead of a potential monster extension and maybe another All NBA year. They're not going to shut down OG Anunoby 1 year out from being able to opt out. They're not going to shut down Scotty Barnes in a development year. Like this is the problem with the rebuild or tank talk, is that you can get away with that in the Tampa season. Eventually players and especially agents will push back on that because guys have more on the line than just wins.
Oh yeah.
So having said that, if we accept that even the best version of this team, if they can turn it around, is maybe not on the level of Milwaukee and Boston, and you've dug yourself a pretty big hole here to turn around from anyway, yeah, you've got to start looking at what can you do that puts you in a better position for the next, we'll say 2 years, because Pascal Siakam probably has at least 2 years left in his prime because he entered his prime a little later, because his game's fairly unique. Like, unless you have injury concerns, I think you can be pretty confident that he's got, at least another 2 years around this level. And it's 2 years before Scotty Barnes's rookie scale extension would take hold. So you've got to look at what can help you in these next 2 years. And that's kind of your next rolling window. Again, I think with Gary and some of the veterans, it's fairly straightforward. The Gary Trent Jr. fit made some sense on paper. It made some sense from turning Norman Powell into something that would be around a little longer standpoint. I don't think the fit is super great. I don't know that Gary Trent has been the happiest here. And I think you could get something reasonable for him. All the vets on the table. The only thing that's a big question for me, because for me, Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam aren't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
OG Anunoby, like we have Zach Lowe saying on the low post that you could get like a Don. So let's come back to that one.
Yeah.
But the big question is, like, I think everyone not a part of the core four, and probably Precious, just because he's been injured all year, you'd get no value back for him.
Yeah.
But everyone below the core four is absolutely on the table. The big question is Fred VanVleet. And a lot of that
is that a core four? It's looking like a core three.
Yeah, and it might be, but you know me and what I think of Fred as a player and like a cultural piece for this franchise and stuff. I don't think it's as easy as, well, his shooting percentage is down and sell him, etc. And I know you're not framing it like that. I just mean that to say anyone below that line is very on the table. The Fred thing is more complicated because it's a lot about culture, and there's a Siakam effect, and there's also a what have your conversations with him about potential next deals look like, and things like that. So